Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today Trevor and I are going to show you a couple of fly rod combos that we have found online on Amazon and eBay that we feel are great values for your kids or for just the beginner fly fisherman getting into the sport. Trevor and I, we've always used Sage, G. Loomis, Orvis, Redington, some of the higher end fly rods. There's nothing like walking down the San Juan River with your Sage, your $500 Sage, and someone look at it and say, oh, that's a nice rod. I got one myself. A little bit of nostalgia there using a Sage or an Orvis fly rod. But the reality is I've caught just as big a fish on a cheap Max Catch rod that I took to Alaska because I didn't want to break my Sage on the plane ride. So I don't think you need to spend an exorbitant amount of money to get into this sport. My son Max turns 12 tomorrow, and we've let him use some of our older fly rod reel combos. I felt like it was time to get him his own, and so I jumped online and I found this combo. It's called, I keep having to look at the name, it's called a scaling. I'll see if you guys can pronounce that 5 times really fast. That's the biggest problem with some of these rods that you find online is you can't even pronounce the name. We're just going to call this the S rod for today. So this S rod, you can see it's got your classic large arbor reel. It's left-handed. I've seen a lot of fly fishermen like to reel with their right hand and cast with their right hand. When I'm teaching my kids to fish or fly fish, I always teach them how to reel with their left, cast with their right. I think it's smoother, it's easier, it's how I learned. I know we could debate this for hours on what's best, but I like reeling with my left and casting with my right just because it's smoother, it's easier. And if you can learn it while you're young, it just becomes natural to you. So this rod and reel setup's pretty cool. What I like about the scaling is I like the drag system. It feels actually pretty smooth, pretty easy. When I'm setting up a fly rod for my kids, I teach them about drag and how to use it. Most people will crank down that drag really tight, but man, if your kid catches a big fish and he runs, you're either going to pull the fly out of the fish's lip or you're going to break the line. And so by teaching your kids about drag and how it works, that you want it a little bit looser, you want to play the fish, you want to let them run, it really helps your kids land more fish. And so when I'm first setting up a reel for my kids, I'll actually loosen the drag probably a little more than I normally would, just to teach them the concept of letting the fish run, and it's fun when you can hear that reel start screaming. So we're going to open this up. So on this one there's just a little lever and it pulls out, and you can see that the inner shaft of this is actually metal. It looks like aluminum, so pretty good quality. Inside here you do have a plastic sleeve, but beyond that it's all metal or aluminum, and so I'm pretty impressed with the simplicity and the quality of the scaling reel, the S reel. Another thing I do for my kids when they're just starting out, let me get this pop back on, is if you can see right there, I show them all the knots I use. When I'm putting on my backing to my fly line, I use an Albright knot, and then my fly line to my leader, I use a nail knot. And one of the issues with the nail knot is it's got 2 little tag ends, and sometimes when your kids are casting and it rolls over, their line will get caught and it'll tangle. So I like to put a little bit of UV glue around that knot, kind of make it like a little bullet. So when the line rolls over, it it doesn't snag on those tag ends of the nail knot. So just a little trick we've learned to make it easier for your kids. It's really, really important that when you take your kids fly fishing for the first time, you take them to a place they can catch fish. I'm to the point in my fly fishing career that I'd rather catch one 20-inch fish than 30 little tiny ones. But a kid, on the other hand, they want the action. They want to catch fish. And so tomorrow, me and Max are going to go to a place to where I know he's going to catch some fish. I know it's going to be a good experience for him, because there's nothing worse than taking a kid fishing and the fish aren't biting. That's what I love about fly fishing as a sport. Is it seems like everywhere we go fly fishing, we can always catch something. And that's really important when you take your kids fishing. So now we're going to go over to Trevor. Trevor's actually going to go on the water and show you how the Pisky Fun, I think that's how you say it, how that rod and reel combo casts. It's actually a little bit better quality, it looks like, than this. You're going to pay about $120 for a Pisky Fun setup. This one's $89. But both of them, for a beginner fly fisherman, I think they're awesome and the way to go. That way you're not dropping, $300-400 on their first setup, and then they end up slamming it in the car door the first day. So let's go over to Trevor and see how he's doing with his Pisky Fun rod reel combo.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna test this out. This is the, you can see there, the Pisky Fun sword, 9-foot 5-weight, paired with the 5-weight reel and line, backing, everything. Nice thing about this rod, you've got the dots to line things up. You've also got a place to hold your fly when you're not using it. And let's test this out. Let's see how this thing casts. Okay. Get some line out here. Rod loads nicely. Very nice presentation. It's a fast action rod, so it's stiff, which I like on a fly rod. But that casts almost as good as any other rod out there, especially for a price point of. It's the price point of the rod is $44. The reel, same thing, right in that same range, $45. So for under $100, you can get in this rod. So get down to top it.
Okay, so it was my 12th birthday and I got a fly rod. And
Hold it up to the camera, Max.
Is this?
Awesome. Are you excited to go use it?
Yeah.
Where are we going to go fish tomorrow?
Panguitch Lake or Otter Creek?
Panguitch Lake or Otter Creek. Okay, are you going to tie your own flies?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Okay, awesome. That's what we're going to do tonight, is you're going to tie a couple of your own flies and we're going to go use it. So tell us why you want to get into fly fishing.
It's really fun, and I enjoy fishing a lot, and I watched my dad fish, and he's caught really big fish, and I want to catch really big fish too.
Well, that sounds pretty awesome, Max. Okay, we're excited to go and have you try out your new fly rod and hopefully catch some big fish tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.